Welcome to yet another new episode of KEM CHO, our very own talk show by Abhinaya, the drama club. In KEM CHO, it was always students, clubbers, and so. But for the very first time, we have a professor with 36 years of experience, who is also now an emotional counselor who has been associated with SEVA, a free and confidential counseling center. He has been with this center since 2009 and is now the director since 7 plus years. Today, we have with us Mr. Rajendra Thapadia, the director of Finishing School KMIT. He has his international graduate diploma in counseling skills from Banjara College, Bangalore. With strong expertise in software engineering, management, and project leadership, he conducted many training seminars for over 55,000 students and working professionals. We are truly honored to have you with us, sir. Welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here.
Sir, you have taken many roles in life. What inspired you to join SEVA and keep going for 15 plus years now?
Joining SEVA, I think, was my good fortune. I had been helping SEVA through my director, Mr. Tyagarajan, building their website. So one afternoon, he came to my office. He said, "You've been helping us. You have a helpful nature. So why don't you join SEVA?" That very evening, that was sometime in September 2009, at around 4, I joined SEVA, and there's no looking back. And believe me, my life has been very different, has been very beautiful since I joined SEVA, because we have had amazing people there. Now, if you ask me what makes me go, when you help someone and you see a smile on their face, you find a teenager get the courage to cope up with life. You find a parent learning skills on how to be nice to the children. You find a grieving family seeing hope. And you know that compassion works. Hope is what keeps them going. And we would like to keep spreading this to anyone we can. And it's just not me. All people at SEVA are so very passionate about their work.
A smile on people who need help is all what we need to continue doing SEVA. Sir, what are the factors that contributing to rising widespread of depression, anxiety and loneliness, especially in the younger generations today?
Well, there are multiple factors. One of them could be your social media. You see things on social media, and then the younger generation feels, oh, there's so much they're missing out. When in reality, what is projected may not be the truth. Family dynamics. Earlier we had joint family system where you could talk to your cousins without involving the parents. But now with the nuclear family, things are very different. Both the parents working, they have very less time. They have their own pressures. And a child, when he comes back from school or college, has no one at home in most of the families he can share with. Just imagine the child went through a rough phase, was bullied at school, the teachers were nasty. He comes home and he wants to talk to someone, doesn't find it. What does he do? It is bottled up. He goes back, parents come in the evening, he wants to share, but they're busy with office work or whatever. Just keeps piling up. Then there is also the academic pressure. There is peer pressure. There is bullying. All these factors lead a person to, feel sad, maybe feel angry. And when that is not managed well, can lead to depressive thoughts.
This is something which is very common in today's young generation now. Despite living in an age of digital openness, many young people still struggle to share their thoughts to their parents or to their teachers. What is your view on this happening, sir?
One is acceptance. There is so much stigma on mental health. If I had a fracture, I could just tell everybody and everybody would be very sympathetic or compassionate to me. But if I tell them, look, I'm feeling sad, I don't feel like waking up in the morning, going to college or work, people don't understand. They'll say, hey, what's wrong with you? Yesterday you were fine. You have a nice family. You have a beautiful house. You have a good career. You are doing academically well. How can you feel depressed? And the other thing is, there is that feeling that if I talk about my mental health state, people will start judging me. People will think I'm weak. Maybe at work, if I tell them, I would lose opportunities on good projects. Maybe if I tell them to my friends who don't understand, they will isolate me and not involve me in activities which they think I could be part of. So there's a lot of stigma. And there's also another thing about denial. If a child tells his parents that, I'm feeling mentally not too good, the parents will say, deny, because they fear society. What if the neighbors know about it? What if our family knows about it? We will be branded as people who are mentally sick. There's so much of labeling which happens here.
Like, many people have a very active social life and they put their very extrovert nature upfront. But how accurate is this belief that putting in social nature upfront and denying yourself is a good thing for the person suffering?
Like I said earlier, what is projected on the social network is really not the true picture. Nobody would like to project a sad family on a social media. Obviously, nobody would like it. So what do they project? They project a facade which is not their self. They project happy pictures just for the whole world to know how happy they are. But honestly, if you look at it, they may have a very different mask. They may be sad internally, but they project a very different picture. One, for the society, for everybody to know how happy they are. As a result of doing this, what happens is when they go through a low phase, people see a different facade of them, and they have a lot of inhibitions about, can I really reach out because I have projected a very different image, and now can I tell people, look, I am sad, I have financial crisis, I have academic pressure? No, I cannot, because that will reveal their true identity, and people are very scared to reveal their true identity. They want to have a mask which is different. Behind that is what we say very different story, which is also called silent depression.
Sir, what is your perspective on self-diagnosis, through social media trends? There are helpful information or awareness on social media, and there's harmful misinformation also. What is your view on this?
I would say social media is good because it helps you be aware about a lot of things. But you need to draw a fine line between believing it and knowing how much of it is not true. So I would say it is helpful because it helps you spread awareness. It helps you connect. But it is also having a lot of misinformation. Misdiagnosis can happen. And that is much more than the helpful nature which I see there. It is up to the individuals on identifying what they need to take and what they need to ignore. But apparently that doesn't happen. I could feel a little sad. But when I start looking at the social media, maybe some influencer will relate sadness to depression, depression to hopelessness, hopelessness to helplessness. That can lead to suicidal thoughts. It can cause a lot of worry when a small ailment like sadness has resulted in me thinking about, I have a very serious mental health problem. And that can actually create a problem when in reality it may not be a problem. So you need to be very, very aware about drawing a line between how much can I use to get information, but finally if I think I need help, I need to seek professional help and not do any self-diagnosis using the online information which is available.
People, young generation today is more attracted towards the bad side of social media. Often, mental health conversations stop at awareness, but not everyone takes it to the next step of diagnosis or consulting a professional. From your perspective, what is the point that is missing from the step of awareness to taking it to the step of diagnosis?
Yeah. There is a lot of gap between awareness to action. Awareness happens because you read about it. But then why don't you want to act on it? One is again stigma. There's a lot of stigma on mental health. Honestly, yes. And if that stigma can be eradicated through maybe awareness talks, through a lot of compassion, through empathy, through active listening, through understanding, and if you tell people it's okay not to be okay, it is okay to be mentally ill, then yes. But believe me, our society has not progressed to such a level. Our family doesn't accept us. Our friends don't accept us. Although it is improving because of some, awareness by, I would say, professionals or famous personalities. It will. Second is, you're not too sure about what resources are available for getting treated. It is very difficult to judge the level of mental illness because we don't have a measurable parameter. I get a blood test done, and based on the parameters there, the doctor can diagnose whether I'm sick or healthy, and based on my sickness can prescribe medicines which may help me get better. But I don't have a measure. They can't measure my anything and say, oh, you're 40% depressed or 30% depressed. It is all through talking therapy. People need to be having a lot of patience to listen, and people need to open up to someone, be it your friend, be it your family, be it a medical professional. You need to and understand that yes, help is available. I can get it if I reach out, and I don't care about what people think about me. I am seeking it. And believe me, when people reach out to mental health professionals, they do benefit. Their quality of life becomes better.
Yes, sir. Society, success is often measured by grades, jobs, and the status, or financially how well we do. So, how do we shift the focus of the society to actually concentrating on the person's mental fitness or how healthy the person is mentally or emotionally? How is it possible, sir?
Well, it is possible. The shift has to happen from a very early age as you grow up. The family should understand that the happiness of a child, the emotional state of a child, the mental health of a child is very important compared to academics. Because when the family understands that, the way the child grows up would be in a very different atmosphere. And when that child grows up into an adult, his outlook to life would be different. For him, it's like saying, I need to be happy. Now, what gives me happiness is everybody's definition. Many of us feel, I might be very successful at work. I might earn a lot of money. I might have the best car. But am I happy? Am I emotionally able to connect with people? So focus from IQ should also shift to EQ or EI, which is what we say emotional quotient and emotional intelligence, where we talk about self-awareness, where we talk about empathy, where we talk about growing as the leader when others grow. All those parameters are important. So the focus should shift to emotional well-being, happiness, developing resilience, developing compassion, developing a good understanding of people around you.
In this generation, there are many people who like to put a fake profile out front also, like when they don't do financially very well also, they try to put up a fake image, like what are my friends going to think if I don't go out to a party? What are my friends going to think if I don't own a branded phone? So like, how do we change this thought about the younger generation feeling inferior to what their family situation is actually?
It also depends on what the family values. If the family values in simplicity, in gratitude, then it is different ballgame. Because if you have gratitude for what you have, you seem to be more happier in life. But if you start comparing what you have with what others have, you'll never ever be happy, because you can never ever meet anybody's expectations. Somebody may have a BMW, you'll get a Merc. Somebody will get some other vehicle which is lesser than Merc, and you'll say, oh my God, I don't have what he has. So I think it is all up to an individual on what they would like to value, what happiness means to them. And yes, if you compare, and comparison, if it is positive, is great. There's always something you can learn from someone. But if comparison is going to make you feel that you don't have things, you're missing out on things, then it's really not a healthy sign.
This generation often leads to such comparisons and falls into depression. As someone, you have been a guidance to many people who have went through the darkest moments. What is the one piece of advice you would like to give to today's young generation who is mostly taking a little sadness as depression and comparison as, oh, I failed in life, I couldn't do anything? So what is the one piece of advice you can give such young people?
It is okay not to feel okay. Seeking help is a strength and not a weakness. So what you need to do is have very realistic life goals and see what best you can do to achieve them. You may not achieve, but you have tried your best, and that is what keeps you going.
This is something which is very sensitive to many families. Many people don't come out to this. Many people don't like to share it even to their friends. How can a friend be responsible in recognizing that their friend is not only sad, but actually going through something which is deep, and how can a friend be helpful to them?
So you're saying how do we recognize if somebody is going through something, and how do we help them?
Yes.
Okay.
Because usually people don't open up upfront unless there's something which is really bad or a friend puts in a lot of pressure.
One of them is basic observation. You have a lot of friends of yours, and one day you see one of your friends is just very quiet, not joining you for lunch, is missing classes, avoiding all social gatherings, just not eating, sleeping patterns have changed, then it is a cause of concern. Don't ignore them. Very empathetically ask a very simple question. It is just not your friend, anybody you meet. How are you feeling? Or you don't seem all right today. Would you like to talk about it? When that person understands that this is coming from a very compassionate person, he or she would definitely say, you know what, today I don't feel all right. Can you spare some time for me? That itself is a great starting point to establish a rapport. And when you show genuine care and concern, people definitely open up. So the signs could be like routine. They are not following the routine. They are just going into a shell. So it's important that we understand. It is not just to do. It's not enough just to do that. You need to show care for them. Maybe provide them resources which they can reach out to. Stay connected with them. See how they are progressing, so that they know there is someone who is available. That thought that someone is there itself does wonders in mental health field. They can reach out.
Sometimes all you need is a listening ear, because that is mostly what many people lack these days, not having parents at home when they want to speak, or not having friends available on call or anywhere. So, how significant is a teacher's role in safeguarding a student's mental health, or making sure that the student does not think only pen and book or the whole society or the whole life which he has to lead?
I would say very, very significant, because the next person other than your parents who has seen you very closely is an adult who is a teacher. From the time you started going to school till you did your graduation, teacher has been an important part of your life. I would say close to about 15 plus or maybe more years. So teachers have to be very compassionate. Teachers have to be very empathetic. And teachers also need to understand it is just not the grades of its student which is important. What is important is the mental well-being and their emotional well-being. So teachers need to be taught what this is all about. However, teachers don't get trained. They think their job is only to, teach the academics and not focus on anything else. There could be multiple reasons which we don't want to get into. So teachers have to be very active listeners, not only to what is spoken, but what is not spoken. A child when he sits in the class, who is a very bubbly child, very enthusiastic, very passionate, and suddenly you see over the last 1 week, has just not shown any interest. He is in a corner to himself. That is when the teacher should reach out and genuinely ask them, oh, is something really bothering you? Do you want to talk about it? Is everything all right at home? Because a lot of problems which the child goes through may not be academic pressures. They could be, family, parents not getting along. One of the parents has divorced, or it could be any of those problems which the child will not be willing to share. But all that is affecting the academic performance of the child and their mental health. So another, mantra, which is so very appropriate everywhere, is praise in public, criticize in private. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. And when a child is criticized in public, the child's self-confidence, the child's self-esteem goes down drastically, and the child has a fear of the teacher because he or she would not know how the teacher would react. So teachers have to be very, very compassionate, very, very empathetic, and they should listen to both verbal and non-verbal clues the child gives. It's very, very important. I would say more than the parent teachers, because they spend most of the time.
We have you, sir. You have been very friendly. You are always there to listen to us. But in schooling, most of the teachers, they maintain a very strict profile, and they'll be like, you have to do it in a certain way. You have to do it in a certain time. Like, deadlines are fine for work, but how does a young mind take that? And usually a teacher's picture is made in the schooling. So when the teacher is so strict, how does a young mind adjust to that and open up to a teacher who's actually friendly?
It is the teacher's responsibility to, make that awareness. Maybe teachers can give some talks on mental health. Teachers can make themselves available, saying, oh, after the school hours, you can reach out to me. I'll be there for next 1 hour. Or during lunch, if you feel like, please walk in. My doors are always open. Teachers also have to give that confidence to the children that it is going to be totally confidential and non-judgmental. What you tell us, nobody will know. What you tell us, we will not even share with your parents unless the situation demands that it has to be. Otherwise, you can be rest assured it is going to be very, very confidential. When that confidence is given to the child, and then the child opens up and feels better, he would spread the word saying, you know what, this so-and-so teacher, you can reach out, very, very helpful. That's how it is. So the teacher has to make an effort, extra effort.
Today's generation, now, is aware that there are people, they're going forward, they're seeking help. But there are many people who lose someone very close to them, or maybe a love breakup. Today's generation has been very sensitive to the matter of having a relationship, losing that, and such minor such small topics are also leading to very big suicidal thoughts, like I am not of any use in this world. How is that? How can this part of the young generation be like this thought of the young generation be changed, sir?
This is boiling down to your growing up years, self-esteem. If you have a healthy self-esteem, which is how do you value yourself? And if your parents have given you that liberty to take decisions from young age, just a simple example, a 5-year-old child goes to a restaurant, one family would say, no, you eat what I order. The child doesn't like it. Obviously, it's not a healthy thing. The other family would say, okay, this is the menu card. Choose what you want to eat. And the child will choose something and the parents will say, okay, go ahead. So what are you teaching the child? Take decisions. The child grows up into a teenager. He is in a relationship. Relationship breaks. In the first scenario, he thinks, you know what? I am not worthy. So I am at fault. So there's a lot of guilt that person gets into. The other person says, yeah, I took a decision of that relationship. It didn't work out. It's okay. Maybe I'm responsible and I own it. And maybe I'll learn from it. When he grows up into an adult who's starting work, a person with a healthy self-esteem will say, you know what? I will give my opinion on a decision. If they don't accept it, it's okay. He will be open to, being part of a leadership. He will be open to accepting inputs from others. Whereas the person who has a very low self-esteem will say, no, I don't think I want to tell about this because if people don't accept it, it'll reflect on me. I would say self-esteem is a very, very important characteristic a person should have, and that is all from the growing up years. So it's up to the parents, up to the teachers on how they improve the self-esteem of an individual, and obviously the family. Very, very important. So that if you have that, if you feel that you love yourself, failures in life will actually make you stronger and not make you feel bad about yourself or get into the self-guilt at all.
That is very true, sir. People being very confident about what step they take in life and owning up to their mistake is something this generation should absolutely learn. I will take this lesson too, sir.
Thank you.
How are group discussions and meeting people with different problems? And like there are many group discussions which happen. So how are these group discussions? I share my problem and I listen to another problem. So how is this going to help a person actually understand better and think out of depression and anxiety thoughts?
See, when you talk to people, you are actually listening. When you listen, you understand what they are going through. You then empathetically respond to it. You build a good rapport. So when people share their problems, before they shared their problems, their mind was all clouded. They didn't have much rationality. But when you share with someone, it could be a close family friend, or it could be a friend, or a teacher, or a counselor, or any medical professional, what happens is you feel much better, because something which was bothering you and you kept bottled up, you are now able to share. So when you share, you get a different perspective. You get a better understanding. And all this time you were thinking the problem is because of the other person. But in reality, when you get a different perception about it, you think, you know what? I think I did something. Maybe I am also responsible. So when you get a different perception, you start blaming the other person much lesser and do a lot of self-introspection. Oh, what could I do to make this better? So, things become more clearer. Rationality sets in. And then you can start doing things on your own much better. So, another thing is gratitude. Gratitude is that pill I believe in. Every day you write down 5 things which are good in your life. So when you have a low phase in life, you go through that gratitude journal or that diary which you've written, and then you feel, you know what, that friend I was talking about who was so mean to me, I have read about in my gratitude journal and feel, oh, in the past she's been very helpful. So maybe I am not judging that person well. I'm maybe overreacting to it. So all this helps you understand that there's so much good in your life and you're actually worrying about things which are so very minor. So that helps you shift the focus from feeling sad, depressed, feeling not having anything to a focus, oh, I have so much. I have a beautiful family, I have a beautiful friend, I have a decent house, I have a lot of comforts. The paradigm shift happens and that changes your thought process completely. But you need to constantly remind yourself how much you have, how much you're thankful about.
Being thankful in life for everything we have is something which is very important.
Very, very. I cannot overemphasize how it is.
Sir, you have been serving KMIT for a very long time as a teacher. And what is the bond you hold with the students in this institution? And how is your bond with the institution overall, sir?
Well, KMIT is owned by Neil, and I happen to know Neil since more than 3 decades. So, and I've been in teaching for close to 35 years. So it was an obvious transition for me to teach an engineering college where I would interact with young minds. My bond with students is amazing. The reason being, I'm very focused on what I do, which is the finishing school. And along with my academics, and since I have a background of Seva, I also reach out to students in mental health space. I'm available for them when they need to talk to me. And believe me, that has been a very rich and a great experience for me, because I think I did make a difference. Not only get students get jobs, but also in their mental well-being.
It's nice for us as a student to have a teacher with such great experience to go forward and talk about any problem, be it a failure in academics or job struggles. It's nice to have you, sir. So what are the changes or the change in trends you see in shaping our industry in the coming years, as KMIT is an engineering college? So what are the changes you see in this industry?
See, now if you look at for the last couple of years, there's so much of proliferation of AI. Every field has moved into AI. And KMIT, I think, is doing an amazing job because they are ahead of the industry. The kind of courses they have, the kind of vision which Neil has, I think has made a big difference. And we are getting our students already industry ready with seminars and project schools and other related academic activities.
Having a project school at a very young age and learning about how project works is really helpful. So how do you think KMIT is playing a crucial role in shaping a student's career and making the student very industry ready? What are your thoughts on that, sir?
From the very first year, they have some add-on programs other than academics. Earlier, we used to have Trishul. Then we have the project school. Then we have the finishing school. We also conduct, as part of the industry interaction, customized workforce development programs. We conduct mock interviews. So there's a lot of insight we give to students about what they can expect during their later phase of life by grooming them at a much earlier age, showing them what is really expected. So I think KMIT is doing an amazing job.
So what are the opportunities you see for growth and development in this industry or within the organization?
See, I would say academically wise, KMIT is doing an amazing job. But when it comes to another space like emotional well-being of students and mental health, that is where they really need to ramp up. Except for few faculty members who are with this idea, most of them, I think, are not trained. So one thing I would probably expect the head of the institution or the principal to do is have periodic awareness talks to the teachers on mental health, uh, emotional well-being, empathy, compassion, listening. Because if teachers are well trained, then I think they would make a big difference to the institution. So you shouldn't be like, I passed out of KMIT, I have a great job, but my mental health is not that great because I was never given that kind of, education. So I think that space is something they can really look at.
It's good to have more teachers who are willing to listen to all the problems students have. So, do you think this organization can stay competitive and innovative in the industry? How do you think this institution is doing that also?
Oh, well, I would say KMIT definitely will because of the vision the people have. And they're well aware about what the growing trends would be, what the future trends would be. And definitely they will incorporate that as part of their curriculum. Even if it cannot be a BTech degree in that field, but they will definitely have that as part of project school or industry interaction.
Sir, if you were to go back to your childhood days, or if you were to be a student again in today's generation, what would be your thoughts on choosing a career, or what would be your career plan? It's definitely going to be a little different from what you are today. So what are your thoughts?
Honestly, very different. When I was a student way back in 81, 85, there was no internet, no social media, and all the things we would do is go out and play with friends. So that was a very happy moment. So I would say that was a very positive thing. With respect to the career, we had, I think, very few career choices and we didn't have too much of a choice. We just decided what our parents told us. But if you were to ask me, and if I had a choice today, I would prefer doing what I was really inclined towards. Be it drama, be it theater, be it psychology, be it law. There are amazing opportunities people have. And they can also do diverse careers. You can take a major in something and a minor in something. I mean, that's amazing. So students have lots of opportunities. But I would, just a word of advice to the parents is let the child choose, guide them, show them the path, help them meet people who are in that field. But final decision should be with the child, because when the child takes a decision, they own it. And when they own it, they will do anything to make sure they succeed in it. But if it is force, they always have a reason not to do, and they'll blame their parents, saying, "Oh, I never wanted to do. You forced me. Look, I don't like it." And you know what happens then.
Yes, sir. So, like now, today, in this generation, there are multiple career options. There are different choices, academically, non-academic career options. So, what is the one piece of advice you would want to give today's young generation while they sit and choose their career options? Like giving an option to the students is fine, but what is the advice you will give for them to choose the right career option, sir?
Find out what your aptitude is and then decide what you want to. I know some students who say, you know what, I want to get into gaming. When they don't understand that gaming is just not about playing games. When you counsel them, it is a very different ballgame. Gaming is designing, coding, graphics, multimedia. So when a right guidance is given to the student by having them interact with professionals who are in that field, their thought about a career could change because they think this is not what they want to do. I mean, for me, gaming was just playing games. So they think, oh, I can play games and play competitions and win money. No, that's not reality. Reality is very different. So you need to show the reality of how the industry is, what are the hardships the child will go through. And if they're still okay with it, let them choose. But many of them, when you show them the reality, will probably take a step back and say, you know what, I think I will choose something else because that is what may be better for me. Better for my aptitude. I think that's better.
So finally, what is the one piece of advice you would like to give to anyone watching this video? How do they shape themselves as a person? And with, be it mental illness, be it in careers, what is the one piece of advice you will give for them to shape themselves?
Well, when it comes to mental space, I would say talk to people, seek help. Is okay not to be okay. And there are a lot of resources available. Seva Counseling Center is one such organization where we do free and provide confidential counseling center. Details would be available on the website. Second is be happy in what you do and understand the reality and yourself. Don't get glamorized by social media. Don't get affected by what people think about you and what people say about you. You know yourself better, and that is what stays with you.
That's something which today's generation has to really focus on, knowing what is good for them and knowing what is right in their life. Is there anything else you would like to say, sir?
Well, life is to be lived. If you get an opportunity, do tell people how much you love them. Because when you realize, it may be too late. Another thing is believe in gratitude. You know, when you sleep in the night, are you sure you'll wake up next day? If you're woken up, it means you have one more day to live. Be very thankful for it. Be thankful that you have one more day to do great things, make a difference, and enjoy life. Follow Abhinaya on YouTube and Instagram.